G'day guys, welcome back to another video. This one is something a little bit different. After doing our shakedown trip up from Melbourne, we arrived on the Sunshine Coast following the Brisbane Caravan Show and dropped in and saw our mates Adam and Letitia at Suncoast Caravan Service. And we were there to get our first service done following the shakedown, as well as getting a few things installed. So in this video, you're going to see us get our under-bunk aircon from Truma installed, our new internet system from Cowfish we get installed, as well as obviously that service and a few other little things.
Yeah, so we also did some, Simon also custom installed a shoebox that goes at the end of the east-west bed that has a lift-off top and an external hatch. So Simon did some of the labour for that, as well as helped out with the aircon install. We should just put a disclaimer out. We are mates with the guys from Suncoast. You cannot normally do your own mods at the, you do have to get them to do it.
It's not normally a DIY workshop.
Yeah, no.
So Suncoast did also help us out with the labour cost in this video, just a full disclaimer there. And while we were there, we did decide to get a ceramic coating from Vantech as well. So we ticked off a heap of boxes, which was awesome to be able to get it all done in one spot, which was really good. Another quick disclaimer is that the Cowfish internet system, Cowfish did supply that to us free of charge. They actually reached out to us after we did our off-grid internet video and said, hey guys, we think we've got a really cool solution for you that we'd love you to test out. And as you guys know, we love testing new products and everything. So we are going to be installing that and testing it out and feeding back how that goes with you guys. And then the Truma underbunk aircon as well was supplied by Truma. So we just like to be upfront about what sponsors are involved so that you can take any potential biases into account. But without further ado, let's dive in and see how it all went at Suncoast.
Oh, are they waiting for you now?
Yeah, we're a bit late.
By 7 minutes. Can you say hi?
Oh, I'm just going to tell them coffee break's over, time to get into it. Come on. Afternoon shift's here.
Is this the first time I've ever seen you with shoes on?
Yeah, I know, right? That means it's serious. You know it's a serious day because I've got shoes on, the plug is only anyway. So, yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it's something a bit different today. We're in here at Suncoast. We left the Brisbane Caravan Show and come up to Sunshine Coast to get some work done to the van. So we're going to have first service today, and a drive service. We're going to install the aircon, our new internet system over the next couple of days. So some really cool stuff coming up.
And this is the guy, this is Twisty.
Hey guys.
So we're trusting to do it all.
Yeah, so we met these guys.
Trip of a lifetime.
Trip of a lifetime with what's up down under a year ago? A bit over a year ago?
Yeah, a year, 14 months ago, 15 months ago.
Yeah, so a business trip and then we become mates. Well, he's mates with me.
Yeah. Do we have to be mates with him? Seriously? Oh, look at the guy. Quite often, we'll get like 3 people dropping off at the same time. We'll have 1, 2, and then another one here.
Yeah.
Just because you're like, your booking's at 7:30.
Yeah.
Not 8:30.
You are a bit limited for space.
Limited for space.
That's the only reason, right? Because you've got to get them in order so you can get them where they need to be. Otherwise, you get a traffic jam of caravans.
Yeah, we work on efficiency here.
Yeah, right.
We're highly efficient.
I'll hold you to that. We'll see. Talk to me tomorrow afternoon and we'll see how we got on with that.
Hang on, can we just make a note? Customer was late.
Well, I did notice that. I was going to give him a hard time.
7:30 plus 3 minutes. Yeah. Keys were in the ignition last night. Window was down. Seats all wet. Inside of the windscreen's wet. But yeah,
that was a good free camp last night.
It was a good free camp last night.
Are you offering it to anyone?
No, it's private free camp.
That one's restricted. But,
restricted
it's not
access.
A bad spot there.
That was good. A bit damp though. Got a bit moist this morning.
Yeah.
Nice fog on the dam.
And of all the days that I'm taking the kids out driving around town all day, I've got the wet seat.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a wet seat.
Yeah.
It's drying now though.
Yeah.
Still got the window down.
Yeah.
It's stripping in.
Yeah, that's right. You'll be right. It's gonna fit. I'll just. Yep, it'll fit.
Yeah.
Yep, easy.
You should get a job here.
Yeah. I tell you,
Are you hiring Twisty?
We are. We've got an add-on seek now for technicians.
Yeah.
And you're hired. But you can only work on this van.
After a few jokes and laughing around, the guys got us checked in. We had a quick chat about all the plans for the van, and it was time to roll it into the shed and get a crack on with all the jobs we had in store. Rightio, so first job that we're going to tick off this morning is the aircon install. So we're installing the Truma Saphir under-bed aircon. We're going to be putting in our secondary tunnel boot. We had the half-size tunnel boot because of the east-west queen bed. So titanium provision for it to go in there. We've got a power point there ready to go. So now we're going ahead, putting the penetrations through the floor. There's a couple of condensation drains that have to go in, as well as a return air and an air outlet exhaust for the aircon unit. So get all that in, and then we'll get the unit secured in, and then start running the ducting. Get that one ticked off, and then it's into job number 2. Was a bit of head scratching this morning, just figuring out the best way to route the ducting to get the ducting in. So we're going to end up with 3 air outlets inside, and we want to get them up as high as possible where we can. Normally you'd probably use the dead space behind the fridge, but of course we've got the big EnerDrive system behind our fridge. So the downside to that is there's not really enough room there to get all our ducting through without interfering with that. So we're going to be going up behind the back of the wardrobe to get a couple of ducts up high, and then we'll just be running one under the bench seat back for the kiddos. Aircon install is coming along. We're just running the ducting now. We've got the unit installed. So from in here, we've now got the holes in for the return air and for the exhaust. A couple of the condensation drains. We're going to take a couple of vents through the back there, and then they're going to go under the bed, up through the back of the wardrobe, and then we can use the overhead cabinets to run the ducting through, and then one of them will run under the bench seat back to the kids area. It's one of those things that takes a little bit of planning just to make sure it's all going to work out, making sure we're coming out of the back of cupboards, that we're not going into something else that we shouldn't be going into, making sure there's no wiring and things like that there. But only a couple of little minor hiccups so far, not too bad. We've hit a couple of screws when we've been trying to drill through the cabinetry, but it's not my hole saw, so that's all good. Another hour or so of drilling holes through and running all the ducting, and we should be pretty well have this one wrapped up.
Yeah. Simon, what are you actually up to there, mate? How easy is these caravan repairs?
Nah, mate, if I can recommend one thing, Adam, it's just don't get in the caravan repair business.
That's sensational.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, well, that's the end of day 1. The guys have all knocked off. Big day. We had a few hurdles. It took a little while to get the aircon in. We still haven't quite finished it off yet. Yeah, so we got the unit in, it's all installed, got most of the ducting in, it's all wired in. We just got to finish off the ducting inside. So that duct runs up under the bench seat, and then we've got a couple that run up the back of the wardrobe. I'm a bit out of breath. It's been a big day. Been doing heaps of push-ups as well, so for the push-up challenge. But yeah, feeling a bit out of breath. Time for a beer, definitely, and I'll run through the rest of you guys in the morning. Cheers. All right, day 2. I've gotten here a little bit late. The boys are already right into it. Arvo shift, I called it. But anyway, the guys have got the 4G and 5G antenna installed up on the roof. So it's a cool little dome antenna that we're going to be testing out. That is by the guys at Cowfish. So that runs inside into a router, a modem that becomes our Wi-Fi for the van, and that rooftop antenna is a 4 and 5G antenna, but it also is a Wi-Fi output antenna. So that gives us a nice big Wi-Fi network around the van. It'll actually reach to the car when we're driving as well. So we're looking forward to testing that one out. We've got a discount code from those guys as well, so I'll leave that in the description below. But we're going to be testing that out obviously over the next little while. That's going to replace our Nighthawk system. So rather than having the Nighthawk and a panel antenna that we put up on a pole, we're going to be using this moving forward. It gives us a permanent Wi-Fi network in the van. It has a few other advantages and stuff as well. I'll be doing a full review on it once we've tested it out and used it for a little bit. But it's going to give us a few advantages over the Nighthawk. That's all just about installed. Reese is just finishing off wiring that up inside. And then, yeah, we're going to crack on and finish off this aircon install, and I'll show you around the other side. Andre's just fitting up a new external hatch that we're going to be building a new storage box at the foot of our bed. With the east-west bed, we just find there's a bit of wasted space there, so we're putting in a new external hatch there, and I'm going to be building a box on the inside that's going to be used for shoes and things like that. I've got a few ideas about how we might do the box. We're going to try and make it so we've got internal and external access to it, but yeah, a few hurdles to overcome there, and then yeah, we should be away. And then there's just a few more little bits and pieces to do. I'm going to jump down and do some push-ups so that Adam from Suncoast can get his checkbook out and start making some donations to the push-up challenge, because he's matching every push-up I do in the workshop with a donation. So I'm going to crack into them, and yeah, we'll get this all finished off and see how it looks at the end. I'll show you guys how what it all comes up like. It's a little bit nerve-wracking drilling holes and cutting a hole in the side of your brand new van. But we knew this new access hatch was going to be super functional and really help us out on a day-to-day basis, and we were excited just to try something different. If you've seen our interior walk around and exterior walk around, you'll see how this hatch came up and the box is now made, and we just need to get the upholstery done and it's going to come up an absolute treat. Building this box also gave us a place to hide the ducting and sneak it around the corner without having to take up a whole lot of tunnel boot space. So the aircon is in. This is the Truma Sophia under-bunk, all installed. It has 3 outlets on it, so we're running 3 different vents into different sections of the van. As I said earlier, it is good to get those vents up as high as possible. We were able to get 2 up high and 1 stayed down low, but I'm pretty impressed with how that's operating. We've had it running for the last hour, and it's actually nice and cool as well. Sorry, not nice and cool. Obviously it's nice and cool. It's actually really quiet, which is something we're stoked with. The other thing we've done this morning is install this hatch. This is on our awning side. So this hatch is the same size as our tunnel boot hatch, and it's going to be external storage to a little box we're going to build at the foot of our queen bed. In this space at the end will get built in, and we're going to build it into a box that is accessed from inside or from outside. We'll use that for our shoes and things like that. You can see we use that space to sneak those vents through as well, to not take as much room up in the tunnel boot. And yeah, that'll be our inside access and external access to our shoe storage, which is an idea we got from Amy from 4 Boys in a Caravan. We spoke about this about a year ago. She had this idea of boxing in, which I thought was really cool, beside the bed or at the end of at the foot end of an east-west bed, and just create that extra storage. But then I thought, well, let's chuck an external hatch on there as well and give us that multi-use space. So I'll show you where we ended up with the outlets for the aircon now. 2 ducts comes up through the back of the wardrobe, and 1 comes straight out here through the upholstery there. If you can see that, it's a little bit dark in here, but and the next duct runs right through the back of these overheads. You can see the ducting running through there. So because of the slope of the van, because the roof slopes down there, it sort of creates a bit of a triangle in the back of the overhead. So it wasn't really usable space anyway. And now with the duct in there, we can fit the same stuff we had in there before, and then it runs through into this one and then out, and the outlet's actually up in top there in that void that's above our overhead. And the third one in the back there of the bench seat. There's our bench seat, there's our bed area. So as I said, we've had it running for a while now, probably about an hour, and it's doing an awesome job, really quiet, and yeah, just it's pumping out cold air. What more could you want? Now the cool thing is, because we've got the Truma D6 heater and hot water service, which is a combi unit, all in one, it runs off this control panel, and we're able to run the same control panel to control the aircon. So all the aircon, hot water, heating, everything goes through that one control panel. So a really neat and simple solution. The guys finished off the cowfish today as well, so we've got the cowfish internet system, and we'll put all the cereals back in now, but it runs up in that cupboard there. I've just got to get a SIM card in that out of our Nighthawk and start testing that out. Pretty keen to give that one a run over the next little while and give you guys some feedback on how that goes. And that's about it at the moment. The guys are just building that box at the moment. They're off cutting that. The guys here at Suncoast have done an outstanding job. Couldn't be happier. Yeah. It's just made it so simple to be able to get everything done in the one spot, especially when you're traveling like us. Trying to get booked into different places is really hard, so be able to get all the mods done and the servicing done, all ticked off, and yeah, we're ready to go. So we'll get the van out of here, we'll quickly tidy up, and we'll get out and get over to the service bay and get that servicing done. It's going to go from here, the van's going to go from here over into the main shed, and we're going to get a service done, brake and bearing check on as our first service. We've done a couple of thousand Ks in the van now, so we'll be getting a service on that, as well as a check over of the under-drive system and doing a service on that. So the service on the under-drive system consisted of going through and checking all the terminals, every screw, every bolt, making sure that nothing had come loose. And we did find a couple that had worked their way loose, and I think that's to be expected considering we'd done a few thousand Ks in the van, and some of those over some pretty rough roads. So this is a really good idea to get your electrical system checked at your first service to make sure that you don't have any issues down the track. Apart from the safety concern of loose connections, they can also cause charging issues. So making sure that all the terminals are nice and snug on a regular basis is a really good idea. Part of this first service as well is checking over the hitch. The guys made sure that the bolts for the hitch are obviously torqued up correctly and greased up nicely. As far as the rest of the van goes, most of it is just a visual check at the first service. There's no need to pull apart bearings or anything like that unless there's suspicion that there's been undue wear. So it's really just looking over all of the brake and bearings to make sure that there's no signs of wear that shouldn't be there, make sure everything's functioning as it should, and getting us ready for the next part of our travels. Getting it ticked off in your book's a great idea as well to make sure that your warranty's kept up to date, and it does help with resale value as well to have a book all checked off. So the guys went through with the light and just checking over the handbrake system, checking over the chassis, just checking everything to make sure that everything was as it should be, and then give the suspension arms a good fresh grease, and we were back on our way. So while we're in here at Suncoast, we're going to get a Vantec ceramic coating done to the van. So I thought I'd just quickly grab Brett and just get the facts, because I don't know that much about it. But I know it is expected to give us better life out of the van. It'll make it easier to wash. It'll protect the colour in the van from fade over time and UV and contaminants and things like that. Do you just do aluminium clad vans?
No, we do most surfaces, aluminium cladded, aluminium composite panels, checker plate surfaces, gel coat surfaces, Raptor coats if they need it.
What's involved in the process? So obviously at the moment they're washing it down, giving it a good deep wash.
Yeah, stage one right now is giving the van a touchless wash. So it's a foam application to get rid of all the surface contaminants. And then once we get rid of all of that, most of that, we'll use a soft microfiber cloth to give it another wash as well, just getting that surface prepped clean and ready for your treatment.
What's involved in applying the treatment after that?
A three-stage process. We apply the ceramic coating to a foam pad and apply it into about a 500 by 500 sort of square area. And then we use a microfiber cloth to blend it in around all the tight little corners and nooks and crannies. And then we use our final microfiber cloth to get rid of any residue and any leftover marks.
Yeah, right. So when we pick it up this afternoon, are we likely to see a significant difference in the appearance of the van?
I believe so, yeah. I think you'll get probably a 20% more pop in it. It will look great.
Yeah, pop, that's what we're after.
Pop.
I love pop. Yeah, cool. And then, but obviously the big changes over time is where we're going to notice.
That's the biggest benefit. You're going to find life's going to be much easier to wash this van after your trips, your bug guts and bird poos and bat poos and all those sort of nasties.
And then can you reapply once it is?
It's not necessary with this Vantec product that we use. It's one treatment for the life of the van. The build quality's unbelievable in these vans, so it's just that surface protection that you're really looking for to preserve your asset.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, look forward to picking it up this afternoon and seeing the difference.
It'll be great.
Awesome, cheers. All right, well, the guys have finished doing the Vantec. We just called back to have a look. It's looking unreal. It's come up really, really well. I mean, it helps that the van's also clean, which our van isn't very often, but this is definitely going to help it keep it clean. Brett just showed me a demo of how much the water beads off a panel that's coated with the Vantec, and it definitely, you can see how much difference it makes, just that beading of the water coming off, which is going to help keep the van cleaner and just protect it from fading and things like that. So we've never had ceramic coating before. We didn't do it in our old zone, but keen to test it out on this one and see how the Vantec holds up and how much difference we notice over the next few months. So we'll definitely be keeping you guys informed on that and let you know. But couldn't be happy with how the van's turned out. It's looking really, really good. It's been a couple of weeks now since we got all that stuff done at Suncoast, and so far so good. It's all going really well.
So we just wanted to go through with you just our thoughts after we've had some of these mods done, what we genuinely think of them. What do you think? Let's start off with the shoebox.
Yeah, I think the shoebox, if you would have seen our interior exterior walk around videos, I think it's going to be a cracking idea. We're still waiting on the upholstery to get made for that, so we'll show you guys once that turns up and we finish that one off. But it's going to be really handy. I think it really uses up that dead space. We haven't really tested out the Truma aircon much yet, obviously, because it's the middle of winter.
It's too bloody cold, but it does work really well.
The diesel heater's been getting a better workout.
Yeah. So what would you say the under-bunk aircon, what are your thoughts after installing it?
Yeah, look, I I don't think it's a big DIY job, or it would be an expensive thing to get installed. If you want to get those ducts up high, there's a fair bit to it to run all the ducting and plan it all out. So it would be an expensive aftermarket addition.
It took you and Andre.
It took two of us the better part of a day, basically, or just over a day to do it. So it's a pretty big job. Mainly, there's just a lot of thinking and planning. So something to keep in consideration if you are doing it as a retrofit. There is a bit of labour involved in it. So if you are going to pay someone, it might be, see how you go, but it might not be worth it. I'd definitely do it again though, and try and get it installed at build. But Titanium weren't too keen to do it. They hadn't done one before.
Fair enough.
Yeah, completely fair enough. But yeah, loving it. I think the idea of it is really, really good. So far...
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
If you were to get another van, would you go one less solar panel and an above one, or an under-bunk again?
It's really hard to say. We haven't. I don't think I can make that call yet. It's too early days.
Okay.
Wait until we've been up in the summer, up in the heat, and used it more as an aircon. See how it performs. So far, I mean, I like that it's quieter. I like that the weight's down low. I like that it's lighter. I like that we've got more room for solar. I like all those pros. I like all those pros still.
I like that it uses the dead space in that little V too, which. When I first saw it, I thought...
What she's talking about there is the ducting,
the ducting.
Not the aircon itself.
Sorry, I like that the ducting uses the dead space at the back of the cupboard that we wouldn't have used otherwise.
Yeah.
But, yeah, initially when I first saw that, I thought, oh, it uses up way too much space. But when I looked at it, it's actually the dead space we wouldn't have used.
It's space we don't really use anyway. Yeah. So far, the ceramic coating is still looking really, really good. But as I said, it's only been a couple of weeks. So we'll keep an eye on that and keep feeding that info back to you. But yeah, I think it's going to really protect it, which is awesome. But
it took us 6 days to clean our last caravan.
Yeah, it took a long time.
It was so much work.
My arm's falling off. This camera's getting heavy.
Yeah, I'm really keen to avoid that. And it's been funny. We've been parked up at the showgrounds and a few people started cleaning their vans around ours. They're like, yours is making us look bad.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and let us know what you think of some of the mods we did. And yeah, and
we hope this helps you with, organising your service and picking up your vans and seeing what actually happens when you get a first service and all those other things. So hopefully it's been helpful for you. And let us know.
All right,
comments.
We'll see you next Sunday.
See you Sunday. Well, maybe, Brett, do you want to do that?
No, it's all right. He's already got the clap.
He's
Just give it a second, then hit it again. Don't be that guy. One job, mate. One job. Just don't worry about it.
Hey, Twisty. I reckon the main reason people should come to Suncoast, I mean, obviously there's lots of reasons. You're all a bunch of legends. But there's a pub across the road, so you can drop your van off and go straight to the pub.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
We've never done that.
Have you advertised
There is a brewery across the road. I've heard it's really good. I've never been inside, but maybe one day I'll get an invite.
Didn't you have pizza last time you were there?
Oh, I think takeaway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely didn't.
The beers takeaway?
Didn't settle in. Nah.
And no kids area either.
Yeah, there's no good kids area that I've heard. And there's hardly any beers on tap.
No.
Yeah.